Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going live on YouTube and Facebook. Oh, where did that come from?
Resurrection day is here.
Come on. Not sure what happened there. There we go. Mute that there. Hey, everybody. Good morning. All right, let's go. Hey, good morning, Instagram. Good to have you here. Good morning, Facebook. Good to have you here. Good morning, VIPers. And good morning, YouTube. We're continuing on with our little conversation. We had some great conversations over the weekend. And for those of you that are like, well, I don't have a link for the weekend. Well, you can go to personalundevelopment.com, and it's a fee-paid conversation anymore. So why? Because I upped my value. So there you go. If I click live there, let me change this over here in case anybody goes live. It's just me. Bingo. All right, we're continuing on with the master course, right? So we're session 19 sessions we've already done. Can you believe it's September 13th already? Episode 934. So we finished up the last paragraph of what we read on Friday. Inside of this was the assignment I give you is not foolish. It's not fictitious. It's a real assignment, and you'll get real joy out of doing it. Start right in doing something physical. When anybody bothers you, write down the things you want. This is about using applied faith. This is the chapter of applied faith. I don't know, and here's the start of the session 19. I don't know why it is that when a person makes up his mind about what he wants to become, what he wants and becomes determined to get it, all the powers of the universe seem to come to his aid to see that he gets it. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever had that happen, right? Where you've decided to go after something, and then all of a sudden, things that you wanted, all of a sudden seem to flow to you, and you're like, you won't believe what happened. That's what happens when the universe aligns with you. And surprisingly, it's the same phrase you say when the universe seems to align against you, but it was exactly what you were asking the universe for. I don't know why it is, but I know that it is, and that's enough for me. I don't know why it is, meaning that everything aligns with you and starts to come to your aid. There are a lot of things in this world I can see, and a lot of advantages I can use that I don't understand, but I don't need to understand them. Jim Rohn would say, don't sign up for that class. How many of us are trying to figure out things? My bride has an amazing mind, a brilliant mind, and yet she'll ask me questions that I have never even thought about asking. Questions that I don't even know the answers to. And one of us gets frustrated, and it's usually not her. I know which button to press to get the result I want. I don't need to know what happens between the pressing of that button and the result. Man, there's a line. If you got the book, underline it. If you got the book, underline that. There are a lot of things in this world that I can get, that I can see, and that I can see, and a lot of advantages I can use that I don't understand. But I don't need to understand them. I know which button to press to get the result I want. I don't need to know what happens between pressing the button and the result. Think about that for a second. Good morning, Derek. Great to have you here, brother. When you press the button of your desire, when you write down the goal, that's kind of like pressing the button, isn't it? How many of us wonder, how many of us sit in this idea, and there's Leslie Hebert in Instagram. Good morning. Boy, it's awfully early for you. Are you out taking some of the big equines around the globe this morning? Drive safely if you are. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hugs to you and that hubby of yours. From the moment you press the button, you make the decision, you start the start button on your dreams. There's a lot of people who ask how in between. Tony Robbins talks about the tyranny of how. And we get stuck. We seem to get lost in that how. Press the button. Jim Rohn would say, don't sign up for that class. And then move on to the next level. I know which button to press to get the result I want. I don't need to know what happens when between pressing the button and the result. I know that if you can follow the instructions in this philosophy, you will be able to take possession of your own mind. See, that's where it is. It's your own mind. It's not, you don't need to learn another algorithm. What if you created your own algorithms? You don't need to take you will be able to take possession of your own mind, get things out of life that you want, and make life pay off on your own terms. Boy, wouldn't that be awesome? Make life pay off on your own terms. Well, it can, and it will, as you begin to take control of your mind. I'll take these off. How do you suppose would I know that a person can actually make life pay off point by point on his own terms, and instead of accepting the circumstances? There's only one way in the world that I could possibly know that, and that's from my own experience. I can tell you sincerely that there aren't any of the best of things in this world that I want that I don't have or can't easily get. Not anything. What are you struggling for today? What are you wanting today? What are the best things in life today that you have a desire for? I can promise you this. If they seem a little slow in coming, if you're not sure if you're on the right track, become consciously aware of the fact that maybe, quite possibly, you haven't pushed the right button. Does that make sense? Drop a B in the chat if you realize that there might be another button to push. What an outstanding statement that is in contrast to what I might have said a few years back before I learned the secret of getting everything I want. Zig Ziglar says, help enough other people get what they want, and you'll get everything you want. It doesn't say you'll get some of the things you want. You'll get everything you want. So maybe part of this understanding of this secret code, this master course, is understanding how to help other people awaken to their own desires. That's why our profession, network marketing, is so extraordinarily powerful for me in my mind. What an astounding statement that is in contrast to what I might have said a few years back before I learned the secret of getting everything I want. There was a time when I was carrying around in my own pocket the matches with which I would set my house of opportunity on fire, but I didn't know it. Listen to that again. There was a time when I was carrying around in my own pocket the matches with which I was setting my house of opportunity on fire and I didn't know it. We were burning down our own potential. We weren't lighting ourselves on fire and firing ourselves up. We were absolutely destroying our own potential. Some of you may be there right now. Some of you may have recently just left that. Some of you may be becoming aware of that right now. Some of you may have put the matches down a long time ago. This idea that we are waiting for the other shoe to drop, this idea that we're waiting for something wonderful to happen to us, life doesn't happen to us. Life happens for us. Right now, in this moment, the opportunities, the desires that you want, they're just as real as they've ever been. How you feel about them, that's up to you. There's a great call that happens 11 o'clock every day called the gratitude call, where you might learn the secret that everybody talks about. Wallace D. Wattles, Joseph McClendon, Zig Ziglar, Tom Ziglar, his son, you name it. Napoleon Hill talks about it. Earl Nightingale talks about it. Steve Siebold talks about it. Tony Robbins talks about it. JM3 talks about it. Gratitude, it is the key. The matches which I was setting my house of opportunity on fire, but I didn't know it. I finally got rid of those matches. I began to build that house of opportunity, and the contents of the house resembled the picture of it that I built in my mind, right down to the finest detail. There's no such thing as blanket faith. You must have a definite objective, a purpose, a goal before you can have faith in anything. Faith is a mental attitude wherein the mind is cleared of all fears and doubts and directed toward the attainment of something definite through the inspiration of infinite intelligence. Faith is guidance, and it is nothing more. It is not going out to go get you that Cadillac or that mink coat or that new house or the better job or the better business with all the clients that you need. Faith is not going to do that. But faith will guide you as to how you can do it. And you will find that there's always a part you must play. The Creator wisely arranged it so that you can produce so that we can produce our food from the soil on the earth. Everything that we eat or work which comes from the earth, everything that we eat, use, or the work with comes from the earth, everything. And infinite intelligence has wisely provided a system whereby you can be sure of getting your food out of the soil of the earth. By complying with the laws of nature, you go out and you plant the seed. You plant in the soil. You plant in the soil that you have examined to make sure it has the elements that you want in the plant. You plant in the soil that you plant it in the soil that you have examined, and that you make sure it has the elements that you want in the plant. You plant it at the right season. You plant it at the right depth of the ground. All of the things you do by way of going the extra mile, and you do them in advance. That'll be the next chapter, going the extra mile. Then what do? You go back the next day and you start harvesting. Do you? No. You time it properly. You find out what nature requires in order to transmute the seed of seed of wheat into a stalk of wheat with 500 or 1,000 grains. And you comply with nature's law. It's the same thing identically in connection with faith. You expect guidance, but you have to do your part. You always will find that there is a part that you must do in connection with the demonstration of faith. Faith will do nothing for you if you expect everything to be done for you outside of yourself. How many of us know some folks who are sitting and expecting things to be done for them? They're waiting on life to serve them. Not going to happen. Listen, I get checks in the mail. I still got to open up the mailbox. I get checks deposited. I still got to open up the digital bank account and look for it. You got to do some activities. What seeds will you plant today? Today is to get you to $1,000 a week. What will you do today that will allow you by Friday to have $1,000 in your pocket? Now, it may be coming. It may take some time. It may take a week or so for your company to get your check to you. But what can you do today? Can you go make $1,000 today, this week? Will you do the IPAs, the income producing activities? Faith probably works through the subconscious mind. Why do I use the word probably? Because nobody knows definitely whether it does or not. It's a theory, and for want of a better theory, I'm using it. Faith appears to work through the subconscious mind, which acts as the gateway between the conscious mind and the infinite intelligence. My mental picture of what happens when you pray properly is that you first condition your mind. You know what it is that you want, and then you transfer a clear picture over to your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the intermediary, the gatekeeper between you and infinite intelligence. It's the only thing that could turn on the power of the infinite intelligence for you. It is the only way that you can reach into the infinite intelligence. In my book of rules, if that isn't correct, as far as I'm concerned, it might as well be correct, because that's the way I get it to work. This idea that Waddles talks about, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are created. He talks about it's not about doing things in a certain way. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Tony Robbins talks about strategy, story, and state. And the problem is most people are focusing on strategy, and we're not getting into state. State is when you activate that higher self in you. State is when you activate that part of you that activates the infinite intelligence, that activates your faith. When you get into state, state is a high form of faith. When you get your body in certain alignment, you talk about what Waddles talks about. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. And most of us are out of state when we go to do things. Most of us don't have faith. Faith is one of those woo-woo words. It's a religious word. Listen, you got faith that the earth is spinning where it's spinning right now. Anything that's about to happen in the future, the laws of science say that they're going to happen, but wouldn't it be fair to say we have faith that the laws haven't changed overnight? If they haven't changed for how many millions and billions of years, I guess they might still be able to change. And then sitting in I see the word gratitude that pops up. Can't read it. Gigi wrote it. When you sit in gratitude and faith, that's kind of like the alignment. I was reading this on a trip back from somewhere, from Louisville or somewhere, and we came across this part where it describes how you get 10-fold and 20-fold and 100-fold. And this idea of this accumulation of doing things in the right way, doing things in a certain order. It was about fasting. Most people, we talk about fasting, we talk about intermittent fasting, but I think it was in the Bible. I forget where it is. I'm not sure what else I'd have been reading to get this kind of wisdom. But you do this you get 10-fold. You do this, you get 10-fold. And you do this, you get not 30-fold, right? 10 and 10 and 10. It causes the Price Pritchett U squared kind of model. And it goes from 10, 20-fold, 30-fold. But all of a sudden, the combination of all three, you wind up with 100-fold. Yeah, listen, the success is out there. The success is out there. It's absolutely available to each and every one of us. We read these kinds of books and these things and we say, pshaw. Why? Why do we doubt it? Well, because it hasn't happened for us yet. Well, when do you think it'll happen for you? All right, let's go on. Steps in developing faith. Now let's look at the essential steps in developing a self-reliant development of self-reliance based on faith. If there's anything that people need more than anything else, it is self-reliance, belief in yourself. Here are the most important ones. First of all, adopt a definite major purpose and begin at once to attain it in using the instructions described in chapter 1. That's the first step in building self-confidence. When you know what you want and you start getting it, you have a measure of self-reliance. You're demonstrating a measure of self-reliance because you didn't believe. If you didn't believe in yourself, you wouldn't even begin, would you? The very fact that you start, even though you're a long way from attaining the thing you're going after, shows that you have a measure of self-reliance. And the more that you pursue that idea, the stronger the belief will be. Next, associate as many as possible of the 9 basic motives with the objective of definite major purpose. In other words, when you go after anything, inspire yourself with as many of those 9 basic motives as possible. And there's 9 basic motives that we talked about back in chapter 1. In order to get something that you want very badly, say extra money, you begin to convene and work out some sort of scheme to earn extra money. My little son Blair, when he was about 6 or 7 years old, wanted a nice electric train that cost $50. Now you got to remember, this was back in the early 1900s. It was more than we felt we could give him at the time because we didn't have to give the other 2 children $50 gifts too. I told Blair and he said, "Oh, I didn't ask you to buy me anything. I just wanted your approval to buy the train because I already got it picked out. I've got the order made out." And he said, "Lionel train." And he had Lionel train, $50. The next day came The next day came a big show. Blair borrowed the shovel. Oh, big snow, big show. The next day came a big snow. Blair borrowed a shovel from the janitor and went down the street cleaning off the sidewalks. So when you hear borrowed from the janitor, typically that means they're living in an apartment complex, like condominiums or something. Went down the street cleaning off the sidewalks. People came out and got into a conversation with him. Oh, he said, I thought it'd be a nice thing to clean off your sidewalk. I see you haven't started doing it yet. And I thought it would be nice if you'd appreciate it. Invariably, they would give him a quarter, a $50, sometimes $1. One man gave him $5. Long before the end of the month, he had $50 and 10 more that he had earned himself. He had his $50 and 10 more that he had earned himself. His mother thought he ought to not be permitted to do that. It kind of disgraced us to let him go down the street cleaning off sidewalks. Well, I said, disgrace aside, they found out who we are and that we can raise a child like this. How did we do it? Motive. Write out a list of all the advantages of the definite major purpose and call these into your mind many times daily, thereby making your mind success conscious. How many of us lose our success consciousness? How many of us get lost with, listen, it happens to me. I'll be the first one to say it. The TikTok 2 hour, holy crap, what time is it? Well, I said I was going to bed an hour ago, or scrolling through things. Understand, your mind is success conscious. And here's the thing, the more conscious you become about your success, the more you're going to get distracted. I had a conversation with a young lady yesterday and kind of did one of the breakout sessions, the breakthrough sessions. We spent about an hour on the phone. She had spent 4 or 5 hours. She spent 50, 60, 70 hours with learned individuals. We'll just put it that way. Wanting to help her break free of some of these mental addictions, old stories that rang through in their life. And we spent about 40 minutes on a Zoom together. And she said, this is the first time I've had the freedom that I thought was possible. I didn't even know this feeling was possible. And because of that distraction that instantly left her, and her mind, her success consciousness, her mindful, successful consciousness that she was wanting, the second we hung up the phone, within like 30 minutes, she had a client call out to her and engage her services for $700 of a particular kind of energy work and exercise work that she does. And she says, I can't believe it that happened soon as we finished the call. I said, because you got rid of the distraction, you got rid of the frustration. So that was kind of cool to see that happen. Did you know that in order to be healthy, you have to be health conscious? No matter what other precautions you take in your mental attitude, if your mental attitude is not health conscious, if you're not thinking in terms of health and you're not expecting to be healthy, you're not going to be, no matter what else you do. Bob Proctor says, you want to be rich, don't talk to poor people. There's a lot of rich people I know, people who have, quote, money. They don't have wealth. They have money, who are the sickest people I know. Not always in health, but just in their belief, in their ideas, and in the way they see life. They constantly complain about things. Yet they're following a simple rule. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Wallace said, even blockheads can get rich. And there's a lot of smart people who are very poor too. It's the same thing with success. If you accept any kind of fear complex or inferiority complex, and if you don't expect success of yourself and develop the success expectation of consciousness, you're not going to be a success. If your major purpose is to achieve some material thing or money, see yourself already in possession of it. It is of vital importance to call it into your consciousness, because again, your power of faith is coming into play. If your faith isn't great enough that you can see the thing already in your possession even before you start to get it, then you're not making use of this applied faith. That's the big challenge right there. Hey, thanks for the hearts on. What phone is that? That's Instagram. Hey, Instagram. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for the hearts. Good to see you all here. There's a little wave. This idea of seeing it before you have it. How many of you can remember when you started to, thank you for the hearts. Look at that. Oh, it makes me feel so wonderful. When you started dating somebody and you just, their thoughts of you ran throughout the day. You thought of them about, like in between every breath, you thought of them. Can you do that with your dreams? Can you do that with the desire that you have? Because as soon as you do, you'll be amazed. You'll be absolutely amazed at how easily it happens. Associate with people who are in sympathy with you and your major purpose. Sympathy means in harmony. And let them encourage you in every possible way. See, that's the challenge. Most of us, we think of Napoleon Hill, we think of mastermind, and we got to think of boardrooms and this, that, or the other. I understand mastermind and everybody working in harmony. Do you have anybody that loves to be your witness? Do you have anybody who's cheering you on? Do you have anybody who's saying, hey, go for it, you got it, you can do it? Because the second you do, the more you start to believe in yourself. Lots of us have this idea, lots of us have this, we believe in ourselves, but yet when somebody else really steps in and believes in us and serves us and begins to just, we often wonder, you ever have anybody like in your life that has such belief in you, you're like, what do they want? You're like in the beginning, what do they want? What are they doing? Why are they being so nice? You ever say that about somebody? And sometimes you're absolutely right in saying that. They're being nice because they're an ass and they wanted something. And yet when it finally happens, when you finally you find those people in your life that it's like, they just really want me to win. They really, really want me to win. And it's and it takes a little bit to believe that they believe in me so much. I can remember the handful of people that I've had that happen to me and through me in my life, where they had such faith in me, where it was like, I'm not sure what they really want. Associate with people who are in sympathy with you and your major purpose, and let them encourage you in every possible way. This has reference only to close friends and members of the Mastermind Alliance. If you just keep reading, Sean. Don't disclose your aims or purposes to people who are not absolutely dependable, loyal, and close to you. See, that's where we get lost. We step up at a Super Saturday. We step up in a meeting and somebody goes, tell us your why. Screw you. I ain't telling you nothing. I don't know if you're on my team. That's what you really should say. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to, I don't know how else to say it, manipulate you. See, I can't even say it. Manipulate you to see if they can't motivate you out of fear. Motivation out of fear usually brings more fear. Don't disclose your aims or purposes to people who are not absolutely dependable and loyal and close to you. Sometimes people to whom you disclose your ideas, if they're good ideas, go around the corner and beat you to the draw, and they're using your ideas before you can use them, or they say something to discourage you. Let not a single day pass without making at least one definite move towards your attainment of the major purpose, and choose some prosperous, self-reliant person as your pacemaker, someone who paces you, not only to catch up with him, but to accelerate. 1/10 of 1% improvement every day. 1/10 of 1% improvement every day. The principle of Kaizen. You've got this capability. You've got this possibility. And we're going to end it right there. I didn't see it's the top of the hour. So this is session end here and 19. If you'd like to join us in the Q&A that's about to happen in the VIP group, you can go to Personal Undevelopment, personalundevelopment.com, and you can find out. I would encourage you, because the prices have gone up, if you know somebody who's in it, you can go to in Facebook. In Facebook, there's a public group called the Daily Awakening, and you see this is being broadcast live right there now. You can befriend somebody or ask somebody to kind of be your, quote, sponsor, if you will, and you can get 50% discount, because for the lifetime membership now, it's $1,920. and you can get that at half because the monthly and the annuals have gone up as well. But you can listen if you want to. You're great. If not, I'll see you here tomorrow morning. I'll see you at the same bat time, same bat channel. Just dated myself there. Anybody remember that? Same bat time, same bat channel. Appreciate you, Instagram. Thank you for the hearts. Good to see you all. I'm just leaning in to see. Oh, Adriana. Good to have you here, the goddess. Good to have you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. You can join the Facebook group, facebook.com Daily Awakening Calls, I think. You'll Google it. You'll see it. You'll see my face there and stuff. And that's a no-fee community to join. So there you go. I appreciate you tons. Love you. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Let's end that over there. There you go. And now, cool. We'll push that live here in just a second. Shared a story. It's probably not where it needed to go. Oh, what just happened in Masterclass Bootcamp? Facebook, love you bunches. I'll talk to you where? At the next event. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. Finish. And VIP Zoomers, as soon as I finish up send the YouTubers. Hey, YouTubers, love you bunches. Appreciate you. Have an amazing day. We'll see you where?